Shut up and sit down.
All these dialed guys are super strong, beef mountains.
Gonna ride my bicycle, no matter where I go. I'm gonna take it fast, I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna go over there, over that log and tree. I'm gonna take it to see you, I'm gonna take it to see me.
What's kicking, little chicken? You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von Turing. Tip of the day from a quote by Abraham Lincoln. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. It's never too soon for some good old-fashioned preparation.
Can't go far on a bike with no radio star. So I strap my Walkman straight to my handlebars, duct tape and roses, cameras and air guitars. People laugh, people holler. I don't care. This ain't fair. It's war up there with the Mustang pantyhose. It's cold out there with their mustaches.
Woohoo, bikes.
Run it up.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and I'm here with Lance friggin' Hepler.
Lance friggin' Hepler.
Everything's changed. I don't know what to do. The seat, the setup, the seats, everything. I'm supposed to be staring into your eyes at this point.
We're now too far apart, man.
Our chances of holding hands are chances of holding hands are low here, but it's okay because
Not impossible.
But not possible. Anything's possible.
No longer sitting to Lance's left, but rather across the table, Mr. Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys are looking pretty good. Looking better than me, that's for sure.
Guess what?
That's not true, man.
I think this might set a record for the number of guest appearances on the Dial Podcast.
I think maybe we need to figure out a way to make him not a guest, but take Evan Price's spot.
There we go.
Just steal Evan Price. You need to become a professional triathlete. Is that okay?
Evan who?
Exactly.
You won't even
Don't
hear
worry.
that.
Don't worry. Don't worry. He's not
offended.
offended. Don't worry. He's fine.
To Matt's left, Mr. Dylan Quapface Wiggins.
Hello. Oh,
What up,
I need a
dude?
good catchphrase. I was going to use yours, but then
Yeah, you can.
stole
Go
it.
ahead. Go ahead. Use it.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, you're okay.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Did I get it?
It's perfect.
Got it.
10 times better than the way I did it. Thank you.
Dylan, whenever I get one of those sweatshirts, that is incredible.
You get it in Bruges, and it says it's the bicycle capital of Belgium, but I guarantee you it is not because they have cobbled roads everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And I
There's
saw,
there's like 40 bridges in that town, too.
and maybe 30 bikes.
Right.
So where's everyone?
Did you
It's
get
not
it there?
Bruges.
Were you
I
there?
did.
Oh, you did.
I was there last year.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I went to Bruges last year as well.
Did I see you
You guys
there?
probably
What?
crossed paths
How
on
did we
bikes.
miss each
but you
other in
didn't know.
Bruges?
Yeah. That's
I was
how it
doing
goes.
the sightseeing tour from the movie In Bruges to see everywhere they had
Oh.
fights and jump out of windows. If you haven't seen that movie, it's incredible.
I went and
wanna
saw
see that.
I went and saw the altarpiece wait, is that in Ghent? Never mind. Ghent is very close to Bruges. They're like within
it's like a low-rent Bruges.
20 miles of each other. Ghent and Bruges. This is
Lance
all Belgium.
Slumming it.
I was slumming it in Ghent.
Real answer, though, we did 2 nights in Brussels before Bruges, and Brussels is just Bruges, but better. And
Stay on
bigger.
target. We're too close. Stay on target.
We don't even have a target, but you guys need to stay on it, all right? Come on.
There's no target.
Go take your brews in another room. Hey, it's been another week. We're recording a little bit late because
are
everybody's
late.
had some like extra long week. But let's jump into some backpedaling stuff. Who wants to go first?
I always go first. Dibs.
Matt.
Got dibs. Matt has got.
I call dibs.
One
This is the legal
hell of a
dib process.
backpedal.
I went to Europe and let's see.
Did you go to Bruges?
I stopped in Bruges.
No, you did not.
It was a train stop.
Oh, okay, because you went to Paris.
Yeah.
See, I'm already derailing Matt's back.
It's okay. That's it. This is part of the back pedal. Flew into Amsterdam, direct flight from Portland to Amsterdam. Pretty good deal.
How
Saw the
many
Northern
hours was that?
Lights. It was 10 and a half hours.
Okay, you posted some Northern Lights pictures from the plane.
Holy
I
cow.
swear that I thought that was something that you just went in and doctored.
No.
Was that legit, straight up?
Legit.
Wow.
Ethan was sitting. So no one flies this time of year to Amsterdam. So we had like the plane to ourselves, and so it was just like spread out. And Ethan's like by the window and he's like, "Hey, wow, Northern Lights." And I'm like, "I've been waiting my whole life to see the Northern Lights."
I have never seen them.
Right? So
I
it's
have
like
never
on
seen
the
them.
bucket list, right? of
Yes,
things
it
to do.
is.
And so I go over there and it's just like, "Oh, okay. This is."
Get the camera.
Because
Take
Ethan was trying to
pictures.
take pictures and they weren't turning out very well. And I was like, let me try the iPhone 47 and see if that, lo and behold, And I was like, enhance. It was good. It was neat to see. And then right after that, like shortly thereafter, we're flying over Greenland, and you could see like all these like icebergs and things, like just crazy cool stuff. And I was like, never gonna see those glaciers again, so better watch them now.
Better look at them now.
So
They're all melting.
The flight there, I mean, yes, we flew through the night, and we showed up at 8 a.m. in Amsterdam, and like, of course, you can't check into your hotel until 2, and you're exhausted.
Yes.
And poor Ethan is my oldest kid. He's 13. I was like, we're renting bikes, and we're just going to bike around. And we biked around like all through downtown Amsterdam. Like we biked like 8 miles or 10 miles. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And
Was that
he
on
just
Strava?
exhausted. I think I posted, like, the problem with a lot of this stuff would be like, I'd be biking, and my watch would like buzz at me and be like, it looks like you're biking. And I'm like trying to get it to, I'm pressing with my nose to get it to try to like start the ride. And so most of the rides were like, I kind of like missed half of them or whatever. So the truth is that I was going about 27 miles an hour before Strava recorded.
I believe it.
Took a couple of Watts KOMs.
So
while you were
yeah,
there,
so then the parts that were recorded were slow. So
But
check into that.
But like biking around Amsterdam, amazing, right?
It was-
like dedicated roads, like they have the right of way over cars and pedestrians.
people.
So
it
it's
was
just kind of
overwhelming because I felt like, first of all, you're sitting on this like wagon of a bike, right? So you're sitting way upright, and I got Ethan in tow with me, so you can't push the pace at all because he was not having it, and it was kind of overwhelming because people would just be like coming by you at 20 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
And like he's pretty confident on the bike, but it was like I was like, just stay to the right, and it was just a little. And like there were certain times where like I'd be turning left or whatever, and someone would just be like, zoom, like sneak in front of me or whatever, and then they would just push me like on my shoulder because there's so much bike traffic, right?
I'm coming through.
So they're just like, get out, like I see that you're turning, but I'm going in front of you first, and they would just use their hand to just push you.
Wow.
And I was like, okay,
That's
I guess
Lance's kind of town right
I was
there.
like, this is just, I guess this is how we roll.
This is what we're doing.
It was super cool. But what was nice is like, you rent a bike, you don't need anything else. And you can I could get everywhere.
Yes.
And we stayed close to DC Rainmaker, who's another YouTuber. And we didn't have to go far to like do any of the stuff like with him or whatever. And so basically everything was like 4 miles. It was like 4 miles to downtown, 4 miles to the pool we wanted to go to, 4 miles to the museums, maybe 1 mile to Ray's studio stuff. It was great. It was super fun.
It's all flat, right? But did you get a sense
all
of
of
like
it was flat.
like e-bike percentage?
There was actually a lot of e-bike percentage because I think it's just easier for you to accelerate in little things like that. And so I think a lot of people did e-bikes. Percentage is tough. I would guess 20%, which is actually a huge number if you think about it. Like when you have, any given ride, you're looking at like thousands of bikes that you're going to see. And 20% of that's on e-bikes. And you've got those cargo bikes, of course.
That can haul like either 3 people or all your groceries, or I'm taking a sofa to my apartment. It will haul all of that stuff.
A lot of times it's like parents with kids and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids learn how to ride pretty quickly and pretty well. They like know how to like handle bikes better than Ethan, my oldest kid. And so they were just like, what are you doing? Why are you
Hold your line.
Why are you all over the place? But the e-bikes, I think you would see the smaller e-bikes as well, but also like the cargo bikes as well would have like some sort of motor on them. And so it's good. It's just a little bit easier. Even though it's flat and I didn't feel like I needed them, the e-bikes were faster if you were to want something like that. I don't know.
If you got to go to work or something like that and you don't want to get sweaty, I don't know. That'd be kind of nice.
It was like snowing while I was there.
Oh, okay.
Like we were just like trying to put on as much clothes as we could possibly put on. It was pretty cold. But yeah, so I biked every day that I was in Amsterdam. And then when we got to Paris, we just walked and we saw like all the sights. We did one swim, which was great, but it made us late for our train, which we missed. Oops. And that was it. And I think Ethan probably needed more swimming. And so we just overslept one day and like sleep was just a mess. Right. So I basically felt like I got on the time zone right the last night that we left.
It takes a while. Yeah.
It takes like a week. I think you need a week to get on time zone. And then anyway, week trip. It was fun. Good back pedal. I didn't exercise all that much. I mean, biking
Just city biking.
City
which is different.
biking,
Yeah.
which is totally different.
Yeah.
And then I did one run with DC Rainmaker had his like open house thing, and they do a run in the morning. And so we went for a run, and then I was running with Ethan, and he was like, was not feeling it. And I was like, okay, I guess we're done.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that.
How was it seeing Ray?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
It was really nice.
Yeah.
I put together a video with him, and it's basically kind of an interview and a tour of he calls it like the DCR cave or whatever. So that the video's done. It's ready to go. I think I'm just going to post it on Sunday as opposed to, I think I'll post it Sunday morning. So be on the lookout for that. Sweet. And I think I just kind of like go over like, I don't remember what we were talking. We talked about all kinds of random stuff. Like, how do you get bikes up to your, upstairs section of your studio, and just like how, tell us about this, tell us about, all this stuff.
His studio is a separate location from where he lives. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He's big enough that he was able to rent a whole studio for all his
YouTubers,
reviews
yep.
and
Well, what's interesting is I've seen this, like a couple of YouTubers that aren't nearly as big that also will do like some sort of little studio. And so he has a pretty big space. Dez has a channel also called like Dez Fit, and he was visiting as well. And he and Ray had like gone to, I don't know, some islands and done some like biking and stuff like that. And then they were back, and I think Dez goes every year to do like a video with Ray, and he's like pretty good friends with Ray. Like they're like best buds. So he was in town. It was great to see him because he's one of my favorite people. And he doesn't, I think he just does all of his videos. He's got like 200,000 subscribers, just doesn't have a studio. He just does it all from his house, I think.
he lives in Colorado.
He lives in Colorado, but he also lives alone in a house, and he doesn't have like crazy kids yelling at him.
Right.
So I think eventually I'll get a studio as well. I'm not going to wait until I'm Ray's size to get a studio or whatever. But I think I'm just going to wait until the kids kick me out of the house, basically. It's not that far from happening because, I think like I got 2 kids in one room. I mean, so you guys all know how this goes. Got 2 kids in one room, and eventually they're not going to want to share that room.
Right.
So
You're going to lose the space you're using at some point in your house. Yeah.
I'll get booted. I'll be coming knocking on your door, bud.
So I got an empty bedroom.
Okay. It's going to turn into a YouTube studio / work for software / software. Because it's like all one thing. And it's kind of like half the size of this room. And so it's like,
Honey, Matt is here again.
He's here again. Can we keep it down?
Get rid of him, please.
Can we keep it? First of all, I'll have to be keep it down up there. Keep it down, Hepplers.
I'm trying to record in here.
Yeah. Wait for it. It's happening.
All right.
That's a back pedal for you.
Did you use this term with anybody?
Jij bent een
I use
klootzak.
it every day.
Did you tell that to the guy that was like stiff arming you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I used it every day.
Okay.
I don't know if it went over. What language is that anyway?
Dutch?
It's Dutch. Yeah.
Okay. Had I known that, I would have been using that every day.
Nice.
I flew back yesterday, and it was good. I thought the flights were good, but they're long.
Yeah.
We sat on the runway for like 3 hours before we started because they were like de-icing, and there was like a big problems with all the de-icers or something. I don't know. So it was
delayed.
So my 10.5-hour flight was like 13 hours. It was something ridiculous.
Wow.
Long flight.
Yeah.
But I was happy because I had like so much space and I could spread out and I could work.
Oh, that's good.
Right on. Dylan, what you been up to, dude?
I spent most of the last week kind of rearranging my separate studio I have for YouTubing.
Yes.
And, my third house and all,
Yes.
from all those YouTube dollars. I got tired of the Picassos in there, so I put up some Van Goghs.
AdSense. Did you just like click that button and all of a sudden you're rolling in the dough?
I don't think they have enough money to cover it, honestly.
I want to see how many.
No. I did the Oak Hill School cyclocross in
Yes.
Eugene,
All right.
2-day event.
Ooh.
And,
Did you
I
spend the night down there or did you go back
I
and forth?
did. Yeah, I spent the night. Yeah. So Micah Sardell put it on with Twilight Operations, a new venue. It's a school right next to Lane Community College.
Is
And
Micah on Group Tail?
Group Trail.
But do you see, I butchered that every time. Micah is on Group Trail.
No, he's on the group text. So basically, that means pending. He's Group Trail
That's
adjacent.
pending.
I think he wears co-motion.
He's
Eugene.
wannabe.
Yeah.
Co-motion, I get it.
But he's a member of any team that will have him. But great event. We were forecast 2 inches of rain on Saturday or more. and it kind of didn't materialize, or there was some in the morning and then some in the afternoon. So that the 12:45 race was dry from the skies, but still muddy, and you had to go through some puddles. But then Sunday, like I still hadn't dried out from Saturday, and it just didn't stop raining, and everything that was peanut butter mud before was now 6-inch deep peanut butter mud.
Peanut butter to soup.
Yeah, and there's a part of the field where you're kind of going downhill doing S-turns, and you can see the water coming up through old gopher holes, just like spring water. So the course turns into part river, part mud, and you just like
Part fountain.
I couldn't believe
whack-a-mole.
Yeah, and when all you can see is the surface of the water, you're like, this should be good, and then your wheel digs in 6 inches because you can't see where the actual bumps are. And then there's a lot of running in the mud, and
Yes.
and a creek crossing that got 18 inches deep. So my bottom bracket, yoink, see ya.
It's done.
Yeah, it was seized. But then some of the elite women were riding parts that I had to like come to a complete stop and walk up and just keep coasting, use that moment. It was insane to witness that. But yeah, totally fun. Great course. It sounds like they're gonna expand it next year. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Is cross season over for you now? Are you done?
It is. I came out of retirement for those
Okay.
2 races, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm
This
done.
was kind of an added race.
Yeah,
They just like 6 weeks ago, they decided, hey, we can do this at this venue. There'll be one more race before people going to cross nationals. So let's throw it on the
Where's
schedule.
cross nationals?
It's in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's in Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville.
How was the attendance
Louisville.
down there?
Pretty good. I think they beat their target for break even, so it's good.
That's
And
great.
then,
Yeah.
Team S&M came down on Sunday, so it's awesome to see like Portland teams coming down and
Yeah,
showing up.
for sure.
But I mean, with that weather forecast, like
Yeah, that's true.
if I wasn't committed to it, I would have been having second thoughts. But
Yeah.
it was fun to get back out there. What I wasn't ready for was the 55-minute race, because you like
Oh, you did the Cat 1, 2, 3 Masters
Yes.
race, and it's a 55
just so I could
race.
race with my friends.
Right.
And when I'm 25 minutes into a race, I'm looking for that one to go, and the sign still says 5. I'm like,
You're
what
like,
the?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So like, damage control. How am I gonna last? Because it's kind of a brutally hard course. There's a lot of muddy elevation, and so it's just like, okay, where am I gonna have to soft pedal so I have energy for that next climb? So yeah, my cross season was done a month ago, and this was just kind of a fun add-on.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yep.
Yes, I went to Las Vegas. I drove
I saw some
down.
Instagram.
I only spent a week there. I didn't spend as long as I was kind of planning on because
I was like, I was in Europe chilling out, and I was looking at your Instagram, and I was telling Ethan, I was like, I just need to go bike with Lance on these trips. They're so beautiful.
there's some beautiful, gorgeous stuff.
Oh, it's
yeah,
amazing.
for sure. So yeah, I mostly rode my mountain bike. Actually, I rode my mountain bike quite a bit because there's some great trails, and the trails around Vegas are growing and expanding. So I was trying to find new stuff. Plus, there's a couple of really decent road rides in Vegas up around Red Rock Canyon. It's a state park. It's a national monument. I don't know, one of those things. So yeah, I spent a bunch of time riding. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. I put in 17 hours last week, which was kind of a lot. I'm kind of back into base mode for building next year, doing a lot of sweet spot work for this next year, because this is the right time to do all that stuff.
That's awesome. I'm so like, I feel like that is. Did you see other friends while you were in Vegas as well? Did you?
I was only there to see my friend Ryan. My friend Ryan Lee,
Yes.
friend of the podcast.
He's friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I feel like each time you go to Vegas, you're doing something with fantasy football stuff. Are you done doing that or what? Because I haven't heard.
So my college friend group,
Yeah.
we stayed in contact through fantasy football for 15 years. We played together for 15 years. 2 years ago, we all were sick of doing fantasy football.
They had one of those moments where they all look at each other and like, oh, I only did this because I thought all you guys want to do it. And they all went around the table and basically said the same thing. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just did it because of you guys. And
We had gotten together for the draft. It
Yeah.
was like 2 hours before the draft. And we're like, why are we still doing this? Who really wants to do this? And out of like the 8 of us, only one guy raised his hand, and we're
was
like,
you,
"That's
wasn't it? Yeah.
was.
Did you still do the draft that year, or did you just,
No,
you just said, screw it?
it got canceled right there. We were all in town. We all like flew in or drove in to do the draft, and we're like, "All right, let's go hiking. Let's go do
interesting.
something."
That's funny.
Because you guys used to have the bet too, where you would.
Yeah, there were punishments.
How you first shaved your legs?
It is when I first shaved my legs, and I didn't get the luxury of having them shaved. They were waxed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we found a lady who would do it at a salon, and we're like, "Is it okay if we bring an audience?" Because all 8 of us walked into this salon, and she waxed my legs from sole to sack. And
Soul to sack. Can we save that clip?
Soul to sack is saved.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna need to reuse that clip, please.
To Lance's cul-de-sac.
So it was pretty funny. Yeah, so that was the best part is having punishments and being able to mock and tease each other. And now we don't do that anymore. So now, yeah, we still get together a couple times a year, but it's not. It was like forced at least 2 trips together a year because of fantasy football, and now we do it for other reasons.
But this was not that.
This was not that.
Yeah. But
This was-
you will meet once with that group at some point, right? Okay.
Yeah. We
And
get
just
together.
to shave and maybe a waxing. maybe get
some
together, do a little waxing.
Maybe just to have some fun.
I don't know. Would you say toast to taint? Is that what it was? Is that what it was? Is that what he said?
Sold a sack.
Sold a sack.
Yeah.
Wait, I was way off.
Toast to taint. That's just as good.
Isn't that a Chili Pepper song? Cul-de-sac? No, it's not.
Oh yeah. So I had a great time. I only went to Vegas purely because it was pouring rain here in Portland, and
How long a drive I assume you drove?
it's a 15-hour drive. So yeah, I drove. So I take 2 days to drive down when I go to Vegas. So I only go part of the way and then sleep for the night and go the rest of the way because you can do that with the van.
Another, 3,000 miles on the adventure wagon?
Probably 2,500. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like 1,000.
And you went
miles
by yourself
about
on
there.
this trip?
I went by myself. I didn't even take the dog. I just took bikes and just hung out. My friend Ryan had to work every day while I was there, so I rode while he worked, and then we hung out at night. We went to a Vegas Knights NHL hockey game, which was a blast. So
Yeah.
we had a good time there. So
Cool.
It was fun.
Right on.
That's it. Lots of riding. I rode a lot. I rode some. There was a ride I did like in middle of nowhere, like between the Nevada and California border, where the roads were just empty, and there was like this.
I might have seen a picture of that.
There was like this 5 mile, 1,500 foot climb, like over this pass in the middle of nowhere, and I was driving to Lone Pine, California, to do some mountain biking, and I'm going over this pass, and I'm like, what? I should ride this. There's nobody on this road. It's perfect pavement. It's a decent climb. So I literally drove to the bottom of the climb, parked, and rode back and forth over the pass once because it was
How'd you do on the Strava segment?
Yeah, I did okay.
It's a climb.
Well, the climb,
Maybe the descent. Maybe
the descent, I
did okay.
I got all the KOMs on the descent. Like all the KOMs on the descent, but not the climb. Imagine that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it was good times.
Good times.
Anyway,
Cool.
that's it.
My turn?
Yes.
Am I
please.
supposed to do this now? Does anybody really want to hear what I have to say?
I hope that you bike some.
A little bit. I had a little bit of a regression.
I feel like you've been doing pretty well.
I was ramping up. The week prior, I think I was talking about it on the podcast last week, that I got up to about 5.5 or 6 hours on the bike, and then I was in the gym for about another 3.5, which is good. Then the next Tuesday ensued, and I tried to do the team ride and had to shut it down after an hour, so that kind of sucked. Had a couple little setbacks, but it is what it is. But we did do the ugly Christmas sweater ride, and that was fantastic. So we were staring down the barrel of like really bad weather. I get up at the ass crack of dawn, so I'm up that morning super early, and I sit down in my den, and I am starting to like drink my cup of coffee, and all of a sudden you just hear the wind howling. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And the next thing you know, you hear the side of the house getting pelted by rain and hail, and it was just like monsoonal coming through here. It's like, oh my Lord, are you kidding me right now? There's no way we're going to be able to do this ride. I pulled up the weather app and I looked at it, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to stop at 8:30. I'm like, if that pans out, the ride's at 9, we should be good. And I looked again, it no joke, drove over there. I got there at 8:30. It stopped raining. And actually the clouds broke up. We had a little bit of sunshine there for about a half an hour or so. We started our ride. We went all the way to the coffee shop. We took over Compass Coffee. It was pretty funny per usual. And they were super stoked to see us and took all kinds of pictures and put up on
Do
their
you let
social
them
media.
know in advance that you're coming?
Not this year.
Maybe.
There's good reason for that. They're not very communicative. The owner of Compass Coffee, from what I'm told, isn't the most pleasant person to deal with. And I tried reaching out to them in the past before, and it wasn't very productive. So we just
seems
show
like
up now.
It'd be nice for them to know. I mean, so I'll do this with my cross country team. I'll just be like, hey, we're showing up for whatever it is, and we're going to have like a team of
I usually do that, but it falls on deaf ears when you try and reach out to that particular coffee company. Like we've gone to Hidden River Roasters before. We've done it with them. We've done it with Relevant Coffee.
Yeah.
The first 2 years I tried doing it with Compass Coffee, they didn't respond, and I don't know, just whatever. Anyway, so we showed up, we did a bunch of coffee, hung out there for like a half an hour, rode back, and got off the saddle, got all the bikes put away. 10 minutes later, rain starts coming out of the sky. So it was like perfectly timed. It was a thing of beauty. So we had a really good turnout. I think we had maybe close to 30 people. And there was probably another 15 or ish people that had RSVP that they were going to go that didn't go because they thought the weather was going to be terrible. So it was a good time.
Cool.
And then other than that, I am just slowly, surely trying to back away at doing all this other crap to get my
Have you
better.
been lifting any?
Yes, I have not missed a workout in a month and a half now.
How's Bear doing on the lifting?
He's doing really well, and he and I are actually having a lot of fun doing this together. So it's been a good father-son thing to do together, and it's kind of fun, like watching him like learn and go through the process, and like actually start to see results. And like he's like 6 weeks into it, and he's actually starting to get pretty strong now, which is great.
It won't be long until he'll just like take off and be super strong. It's just these kids are amazing. How fast they recover and
14 and a half, but he's as tall as I am now. He's 6 foot, I think. He's big kid, and he's a beanpole. So like when we first got started, he was at like 132 pounds. I think he's almost 140 now. So if we can get him up to about 155, 160 pounds by the start of his football season, he'll be a stoked little guy. So wants to play a little bit of defense and a little safety, cornerback, and possibly do a little bit of what does he want to do? Wide receiver, and he's going to be doing some special team stuff. And then they're kind of working with him on being a punter too, but we'll see. It should be good. So anyway.
Are you tired of telling your friend Jake to shut up here?
Oh, shut up, Jake.
Shut up, Jake. Shut up, Jake.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
Thank
All right.
goodness. Jeez.
Champ Alley in sports. Champ here.
All right. Champ is here.
Into a car windshield and then take your mother
Dorothy.
Mann,
That's my favorite
out for a
part.
nice seafood dinner and never call her again.
You leave Dorothy out of this. You leave Dorothy out of this. That's something.
She would treated me right.
What up, champ?
Okay, I don't have a whole lot to talk about. There was some World Cup cyclocross racing that happened this last week. There was a race in Flamanville. I said that wrong. France.
That's not a real place.
It's in Normandy, France, in the Normandy area. Ellie Easterby won that. It was kind of muddy and nasty, and Lucinda Brand won the other side. Other than that, there's not a whole lot more to talk about. There's a super prestige race that happened that, some pros won and some pros lost. And
Come on, champ.
So the other big thing is we have cyclocross
There you go.
nationals
There you
happening.
go.
Yes.
The age group races have all been happening. Actually, this on what day is today? Today's Friday. It was happening on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So like the Masters age group racing all happened on Wednesday, Thursday. As far as I know, there were no OBRA champions in any of the age group races.
I think the best hope we had was probably Paul Boursier.
Paul Boursier ended up 12th.
He got, I think somebody like took out a derailleur or something, or a valve stem. That's what it was.
Yeah,
something like that.
He right in the first lap, he muffed a step and it messed up his derailleur. He was able to fix that, and half a lap later, somebody whacked his bike on a dismount and wiped his valve stem off.
It was like clean off.
So he had to run to the pit, get his pit bike, and then at that point he's in 30th out of 40 people, and he was able to work himself back up to 12th. So.
Besides people by the name of Clara, is there anybody else who has hope or promise of landing on the podium this weekend?
Well, there is our teammate Whitney Hayden. She is racing in the 11, 12?
12, 13?
12, 13.
Yeah, something like that.
I think she's about 12, 13. She races Saturday morning.
You might be right. It might be the 11-12s because I think she's like last year she was like on the young end of it, and the girls that beat her were like on the the older side of things, and they handled their business. So I think this year she's kind of stoked because she's the older one now, and she's got some talent.
Yeah. So she has some real hope to land on the podium for that race. She races tomorrow. We're hoping that Clara Honsinger actually
Your 4th year in a row.
It'll be her 4th year in a row if she wins again. She's probably the favorite, but it is not just a gimme.
Never is, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Coco Laritz is a 15-year-old, I believe.
Yeah.
And she's got a shot to land on the podium as well in her age group. And there was only about 10 people from Obraland
Ian Brown going?
Ian Brown already raced.
Oh, didn't
he raced in the collegiate ranks?
Oh, he did.
So he raced the
He's
collegiate.
in college now?
He's in college.
Well, I guess that makes sense because he was racing against Hayden Wehrman, and never mind. Hayden's like a junior in college. Anyway, time's flying by.
Ian is in Durango, Colorado. He is he's at the school that's there, so he's with a great team. He's like, I think he was 12th or 13th in the collegiate varsity race.
Okay.
Ian Brown, so he's already there. His father, Michael Brown, is also going, but he must have raced yesterday. I don't know what his results were.
Yeah, we can run through all that next week.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all I know about Cross Nats. The elite race, the women are Sunday morning-ish, and the men are Sunday afternoon. I believe the single speed races are tomorrow, Saturday. Men's and women's single speed races are tomorrow. And some of the junior races are before that. So there's some exciting stuff happening. You can watch it on Flow Sports. They're live streaming the entire day.
I hate Flow Sports.
I know. So Flow Sports is live streaming the entire day on Saturday and Sunday. So you can watch their live stream on Saturday and Sunday if you have Flow Sports.
Do they have commentary on Flow Sports, or is it just the TV stream?
I have no idea. I don't. My guess is that there's no commentary for the live stream, and I don't. It's not going to be like. It's not going to be good coverage.
No. Who is this? Can you read that number? No.
But at least it'll be something if you want to try to watch
jersey being chased by the red one.
Right. So it should be pretty interesting. I know it has been on Instagram. USA Cycling. They have been doing short reels interviewing the winner of each individual age group race. So just like a 1 minute or 40-second interview, and catching them right after the finish, so you get all the emotion and the excitement, and so you can watch who won the races. Not the actual race, but at least the post-race interview on USA Cycling's Instagram account.
All right.
So that's one place that you can get there and know that.
Very cool.
I think that's it. I don't know anything else. Champ out.
You can't have the champ out clip on the video.
Oh yeah, Jake was recording.
It's too behind the scenes. No one knows who the real Champ Bailey is. In a video of it,
I got skills. I can make that happen.
You can edit.
Oh yeah,
and Photoshop that out. Okay.
Yeah, I'll roto out his head and we'll do something.
Okay.
Different.
Wow.
We could fix all this in post.
Okay. Please fix all of this.
in post.
There you go.
Put Dylan's head on my body.
Okay.
That might just happen.
Both of us have that dream.
Oh boy.
Stay tuned. We're already getting too long, so we're gonna punt on anything else, and we're gonna jump right into it. Let's do our topic for the day. But before we truly get into the topic, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and it's a little video called Trophy Cup Unchained.
It's interesting because this is some serious black market stuff. This was, and a lot of people don't know this. I mean, that go on YouTube and things like that. But sometimes illegal content gets stolen, released, and just unapproved content makes its way onto YouTube. YouTube doesn't snag it for whatever reason, but it's there, and it's pretty interesting stuff because
you got to click it before it gets taken down.
Yes, I mean Netflix is probably it's going down.
I'm gonna frame that cease and desist later.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because you used the Netflix logo.
Did I do that?
In the
Allegedly.
beginning, allegedly, you used something that looked like a red N.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Dylan, what
Yo.
the
Ice cream sandwich.
is going on here? Where did that come from, and why is it so freaking awesome?
Jake, that's an excellent question. Thank you for asking. And thank you for having me back on here because I believe
First of
the
all.
idea for that video happened in this very room.
Did it really?
Last time. It was a little egg of an idea that you then fertilized.
I
Wait, it blossomed
eliminated
into
your
it.
brain, huh?
What's happening on this podcast?
Sold a
here?
sack.
Toast a tank.
Sold a sack.
Sold a sack. I think we
Oh,
talked
good
about
Lord.
video ideas
boy.
last time. And that
Yes.
was kind of a, Netflix is doing a series. How hard could that be? And then I started thinking about it. I was like, no, that might be doable.
Yeah.
And so, I went into it thinking this will take 2 weeks tops. And it did not take 2 weeks.
All right.
It took a lot more time.
Took a lot more
Cliff
than
Notes
that.
version. Tell us what happened from start to finish. How did that all come together, and what was the process like? And yeah, just close it out.
Okay. Short version, I looked at, there's that Netflix series Tour de France Unchained,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
incredible if you haven't seen it. And it's so intense and the soundtrack and everything. And
I have lots of questions.
Okay.
Because this is one of the best things that I've seen in a very long time. Like the quality of video and the quality of edit blows my mind. Like it's so good. Did you watch the documentary on Netflix and then try to match some of the cuts and some of the sound design and some of it's just so good.
No joke, behind the scenes, and I'm just going to say it how it is. We're all going, what the F can't this guy do?
I know, dude.
I wish I could take
Dylan.
credit for that because, it'd be amazing to be like, oh, yeah, no, this is my first time. And I'm just perfect at everything. But I literally took an episode of Tour de France Unchained
That's
and
what I would
broke
do.
it up scene by scene and gave myself markers. Okay, they start talking here, but the scene changes here.
Yeah.
And then I need an establishing shot, a close-up shot, atmosphere shot. And
Yeah,
so
it's-
I broke it down real hard. Like, what is this episode?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I don't have, the Wout van Aert tour bus and scenes like that. But I'm like, okay, so if I didn't have that, what would this person be saying?
Right.
And so I started, I was like, how do you write a screenplay? I don't know. Here's some free software. So I started and literally just take the transcription of that episode and dump it in here and be like, okay, here's a bit about Tour de France. Let me change that or take out a few words.
Yeah.
So it starts out like, if you play it with the episode, it's 1-to-1. It's exact match.
But I think that's like, okay, so this is what I do too. Like any video of mine that's good is just copied off of someone else where it's just like, oh, how do I, this is really well done. It's really, I love how they've done this piece and this. It's just like, I'm just going to do that. And that's just, my favorite videos. They come out so well. And it's like, I think this is the learning process of copy until you can do it yourself. And so
There's
now,
a book, Steal Like an Artist?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I made a copy of.
I'm
not
going to
as
steal that.
good.
I'm going to steal that book.
But yeah, so starting with what do the camera shots look like?
Yep.
And what's the scenery? When do they use slow motion? What are they doing for f-stops? Everything is super shallow depth of focus. Like, cool, I can do that part. I know that part. We're gonna need, and there's tons
This
of
is like
crowd
a
footage.
master class of how to make a documentary. It's really good. If you guys right now, I hate to tell people to pause the podcast. Pause the podcast. Watch this video.
You've just heard the sound of a single click.
It's to me. It's like I would study your documentary piece and be like, okay, so this is how to do this, and I would do the same thing to yours. I would steal
how to
it.
rip off. I mean, go watch
would.
the Tour de France one. But you
I
start.
think yours is better
Well, because it's local.
because
right?
it's local, but it's
relevant.
It's funny.
Yeah.
As all get out.
It is funny.
and that's so much better than the Tour de France.
You know what? We missed an opportunity. Steven should be here right now.
We should have brought Stephen Plomer. It's
Steven is
Stefan. Is he go by Stefan or Steven?
Steve.ee.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't say it. But
He's the German. He's from Germany. He's been in Portland for 3 years or something like
Longer
that.
than that.
Yeah. So
dude, he's amazing.
he is amazing.
But so once I had the first minute of the video kind of mapped out, here's the look and feel. There's oh no, I actually need a script. Like these things, when it's a true documentary, you're just film it, you cast your net wide, and then you figure out how you want to
figure
tell
out the story later. Yeah.
Because you see what happened, but I was like, oh, I don't have that luxury. I can't just go film everyone at Trophy Cup and figure out a storyline.
Right.
I need to go into this with the thing. So, I wrote a quick script, and it was bad. It was real bad. As first drafts go. And I didn't really change it. Like the second draft wasn't much better, but move some stuff around and fix some lines, whatever. I'm like, cool. We got the basic bones of a thing, and there's a Lance Hepler. Like you were written in from the start.
Oh no,
From the start, you're needed.
It was all about Lance.
it was all about
But then it's okay. There's 6 weeks of Trophy Cup. I need to be shooting every night. Just like start putting together my shot list. I need. These kind of shots, these crowd shots, close-ups of bikes, race footage of the people in the film, because without that, you don't have anything. And then, the one-on-one interviews, which I thought are fun, because when Netflix does it, they have a pro lighting setup, pro backgrounds. Like, oh, I don't have that. So
now you just come steal from Jake.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
But then,
So how
free
did
to
you do
use
that?
anytime.
Did you just get people under lights, kind of, or?
yeah, I have a single ring light. And then
okay.
a terrible gray background and 2 cameras. It's like, cool, you can go back and forth and kind of chop it up that way.
This sounds like a big project.
Here's the problem is that, the scheduling, that was like, I have to actually make time for these shoots and everyone's good. Okay, so once that's out of the way and I start doing the first, one-on-one interview shot, again, it's one thing if you're just like, tell us about cycling and about your whole world and your life. Another is read this line, but make it sound like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so
how was that process? Because you didn't have actors. You had
and no
Lance.
directing experience. Well, and the first one was my friend Jordan.
Like I said, this is a master's class.
Yeah.
You're learning all of it.
So I went to my friend Caitlin and Jordan's house. They are not cyclists at all. They are theater kids for life. And Caitlin is a very good director, and Jordan's acting experience.
You used to work or volunteer at the theater thing, so you have
just
people
doing photo. But I'm not a theater guy,
right?
So I set up the cameras. I'm like, okay, I think we look good. I can't look through both cameras, so one of them was out of focus, which kills me in post. I'm like, oh, what?
Did it go into? Did it make it into the video?
Oh yeah,
and it was out of focus. I feel like that sometimes just adds a little bit of character. Like
my standards went lower and lower and lower.
Yeah. You're it's late.
But the things of okay, here's a line for you to read, and it's kind of a long line,
right?
And this is the intensity, and I have the example from the show, match this guy, the leader of FDJ,
Sure,
and he took a stab at it. It's like, okay, that was just a guy reading a line.
Yeah.
How do I get this actor to do this thing? And Caitlin steps in with directing experience. Oh, before you read the line, do this, or say this out loud, or get this emotion, or think this, and this is your backstory, and just breathe life into this, and get that.
What? So cool.
So and the whole time, more of that, please. How do I do that? So I got to witness this, actual dramatic thing happening with acting and coaching. It's I don't know anything about this.
I need her to come teach me everything that she knows.
So okay, what would Caitlin do for this actor to get this line? So then when I sat down with Kevin Ryan or Stephen Plomer, be like, okay, that was a great read, but I don't know. Do it better.
That was a great read,
But
except for
do
it
it
completely
better.
sucked. Okay, we got to
Stop looking at the camera.
Say one thing positive, and then come in with what you really feel, and then end with something positive.
Yeah.
Really great read. We're not going to use any of that because it was horrible.
But good practice.
It's perfect. No notes, but I have a note.
Couple suggestions.
Yeah, and then with all the one-on-one interviews, cool. So I'm just banking that footage, and I put together a little proof of concept after the first Trophy Cup night, and with stolen music from their show. Okay, this is the look and feel. This is working. Because if that didn't work, it'd be there's no point in putting more time into this. I can't do it.
What did you do with that? With that rough? I mean, it wasn't a rough cut. With your demo piece, did you just watch it yourself? Did you show it to your teammates? Did you show it to your wife? What's the deal?
I showed it to a couple friends, and they were all like, "Whoa, cool! Yes, that's a reaction. That's the
couple
correct
friends.
response."
Did you send it to them or
just
fire
I
them
mean,
up on the phone?
unlisted YouTube,
Perfect. Okay,
secret YouTube.
I got to see a copy of that.
Did you?
And you said this sucks. Shut it down immediately.
Shut her down. Shut her down.
Not
people.
at all.
Netflix did it better. So with the 6 weeks of Trophy Cup, And I was trying to race in the middle of it. So I can get daylight footage or I can get night footage, but nothing really in between.
Yeah.
So like it's so hard to do both. But I was like, I don't want to get out of shape making this. Like I still want to do the race and have the fun. But
Are you going to be a racer or are you going to be a filmmaker, Dylan?
I'm going to suck at both.
Just going to suck
But imagine, so there's one night where it looked like it was going to rain. It's like, yes, this is the depressing, moody rain shot, and it didn't actually rain. Or when it did have a couple raindrops, I didn't have the cameras out. And then one more night where it's like, I just need to show up and film, even though I don't feel well, I'm not going to race. And that was the night I show up and I forgot all my cameras.
Oh, Lance just burned all his matches.
Lance has burned all his matches.
Yeah. So
Did you ever get there and you're like, and this forgot my memory card, forgot my camera
Basically,
battery,
the
forgot my
whole-
blah 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 blah.
the whole first
Like a
night
checklist or something.
where was proof of concept filming, like do all these long shots, like slow mo and everything,
Yeah.
put to music. Does that work or not? I didn't bring a tripod. I brought a monopod.
Oh, okay.
So all you see is camera shake back and forth because you can't, like, it's not a steady platform.
Okay.
Especially with 300 millimeter lens. It's just
Yeah.
all you see is shake.
No, but it looked good.
Well, because you don't see any of those shots.
Oh,
So in my
gotcha.
mind, I've already got shots of lines up for registration and some crowd shots, and then when I
Sure.
go back and try and use them, I was like, oh, this is not good. These aren't usable.
Couldn't stabilize it in post.
Dude, a little bit, and there's a couple shots in there that are stabilized in post,
Yeah.
and you can kind of see it, like everything kind of twitches
Yeah,
a
but
little
you
bit.
don't want everything on a gimbal. You want like that kind of gives it a little bit of life, like you're there, like you feel that movement, and that like it associates with what's happening. So I don't know.
And the real reason is, that shake tells a story, Jake. So
Yes.
you don't want that in every shot. But you want
Yeah, yeah.
It's like there's good shake and then there's bad shake.
Yeah.
It's
Put
such a.
little salt on it. Yeah.
I feel like you could lock off a shot and then add that little bit of shake in post and then have it perfect. But
Yeah, that's probably the better way to do it.
Yeah.
because I have problems with like video where it shakes, I'm like, that's not a good look.
Nah.
I got that.
It's all good.
But yeah, so after footage was done, I'm like, cool, like there might be 1 week left of Trophy Cup. I need to start putting together the rough edit, and I didn't realize how much time that would take.
Dude.
The edit took forever.
And while I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. Like in this order, as it's scripted, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm moving things around, and they're like, okay, do I have a shot? Like, I really want a shot of people lined up like this. I don't have it. Oh, I need a shot of them finishing a race. I don't have that. And you can't just like fake footage.
And just put a race on.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
I had generic footage of people finishing in a checkered flag,
Yeah.
but it was like such a boring angle. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't use that.
But
So,
you had a shot list for everything
Yes.
you wanted,
Yeah.
plus some.
yeah.
But you missed putting some things on the shot list that you didn't think you would need.
Like you go back and you sit down, you're proofing it, you're watching it, and you're like,
okay.
there's just it's
So
missing
during the edit
X.
is when you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so it's a big compromise. The whole video is a series of compromises. Like, I don't have the thing I want. Here's the next best thing. Is this going to work? Oh, this only works if I move this around a little bit.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be another interview part or two in there. That was like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot
Going
of
back
compromises.
to the edit, how long did you spend sitting in front of a computer going through that, watching it over and over again and making all of your edits
I
and
bet you
cuts?
did pretty well
I've
because
seen it so many times.
here's the thing.
Well-
Like, I bet you did pretty well because he had seen the documentary. He had a shot list. He knew what he was going to make. He knew how the edit was going to go because he had seen the documentary. So it's almost like put the puzzle pieces together a little bit.
There is that, but I get the sense that this guy, he's a perfectionist. I mean, you're a painter,
and
you're
it
an
is-
artist,
it is
and,
good.
and you need things to be a certain way. Otherwise, you're going to just be pissed at yourself that you didn't do it right.
Correct.
And then you're going to go back and just watch it again and again. And you're going to be making the tweaks and that. And the next thing you know, you look over and like, I've just spent 40 hours working on this 12-minute video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you 40 hours.
at least.
Probably about right.
And
Like,
we'll get into that
edit.
because the Netflix editor, like when you look at those shots, like here's a 4-second establishing shot.
Yeah.
Here's a 3-second crowd shot.
Yeah.
Here's a couple 2-second slow motion. Like
Sure.
everything is broken up into chunks and is pretty clean cuts. It's like, okay, that's my format for every scene. And there's kind of like 4 chapters in it, like race nights. And
yeah.
so I was like, cool, that's my template going forward. And then once I locked in the music, which is a whole nother story,
That's
like
time-consuming.
now I'm like going back to the edit. Can I move stuff around? This shot needs to be shorter, but then the music doesn't line up here. So I was like, cool, I'm locked in.
Okay, so music, did you use a music service of some sort?
No, so you can get the soundtrack on Spotify for the Netflix series, which is awesome in its own right because it's one guy with synthesizers and doing a
your video is totally getting flagged.
I used their music for the draft. And then I went in one song, like song by song, recreating them with my own gear.
What?
Wait, what? You made your own music?
This is all original
What?
music, but it's
Are
all like
you
rip-off
kidding me?
copies. Because I would
Does it
hear
have to be like 10% different or something like that?
you hear like that rhythmic synth, like and then
Yeah.
like, oh, here's this airy thing coming in here. Here's a a bass line, and then maybe some strings. I'll be like, oh, that's like 5 or 6 parts. I can do that. So I'd lay down one. It's like that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Let's layer the other one. Oh yeah, and you have this
Dude,
part.
you
can
are
just
a
do wah, wah, wah,
champion.
wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, it's
It's
a lot
sick.
of rhythmic drone, like whatever music that they do for a lot of the documentaries. However, you did it yourself. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's amazing that you can do that.
Well, thank you.
did
But
it
when the Netflix
the
guy did it,
hell?
Cy Beg, like you can see his workstation. He's got 64 tracks, and
Yeah.
they're all over the place. I'm like, I got 6. This will
Yeah.
have to do. This is close enough.
Dude, it killed. It was awesome.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. 'cause
The
it took
lighting
some
looks good to
fucking
me.
effort.
Like, look at this shot right here. Like, it's a dramatic lighting, which is what you want, right? Like, I mean, this is just like
Oh, that's Lance.
just
Fast
Lance.
forward.
Hold on, let's.
Don't
But,
look
like,
at my face.
Here's that like talking head shot or whatever, and that's just like lighting looks perfect.
Well, thank you. Because the color grading on those things, I don't know how to color grade either. And so, like, I
Just
have
slap a
I
lead
have
on it,
the-
you're good to go.
I have the screenshot of
Yeah.
the Tour de France thing, and this one, I'm like,
then
how do we match?
What camera did you use?
With Nikon D500.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
And
I mean,
did
with just a crappy LED ring light.
yeah, it's really good.
Thank you.
It's proof positive that you don't need to go spend a bunch of money
No.
on stuff to make something cool. I mean, you've got
I mean, it's
nice
not a
gear,
cheap
but
camera.
no, not. I'm just a ring light, and you got a nice camera and lens, some glass, and that's all you need. And like,
and an amazing script.
yeah,
I really do think that that's like no joke, the real thing. Like, because
And no one
It's
cares
well-
about the actor. Kevin Wright, you can take him or leave him, but yeah, no,
Right.
he's incredible.
it's just like
It's like, we need to get that face on camera.
Yep. It was just so funny the whole time.
so if somebody wants to go watch this, Lance, why don't you tell them where they can go?
Well, you can go
Go to the dark web.
Read the whole URL. Read the whole URL.
I can't do
So
it.
that's what the best part. One of the little, I mean, it's like these little things. Like it's called trophy.cup.unchained.s01e01.1080p.
There's gonna be a whole season.
H264 /edit_h.mkv, which seems like it was ripped off of it, like the documentary that's
I don't
going to
know
go
what
on
you're
Netflix.
talking about.
That's going to go on Netflix. So it looks like every part of it looks like it was like, yep, this is really from Netflix. It's really ripped off, and this guy cwapface2 just posted it, stole it and posted.
So the only thing I the only thing I allegedly took from Netflix is their logo at the front.
Which
And
wait,
maybe
did
it
you do
says
the boom
produced
You
boom?
can
by-
take that because it's a
Yeah.
parody. So you're good to go. It falls
You're,
out.
you're my
Yeah.
lawyer now.
You're my lawyer now.
I got deemed his lawyer and his CPA today.
I think it could get flagged still. It's a parody, but
It's a full-on parody.
We'll find out.
That's true.
Bring it, Netflix.
So this is on Dylan's YouTube page. If you just Google Trophy Cup Unchained, it should
Or
pop
go to
up.
YouTube and search there too.
Yeah, or go to YouTube and search
Second
Trophy
largest
Cup
search
Unchained.
engine on the planet. Yep.
Yeah.
And for the channel subscribers, don't worry, we're back to low quality content. It won't happen again.
So you can go to cwapface2. It's CWAPFACE, the number 2, and that's your YouTube channel.
do yourself a
Dylan's channel.
favor and subscribe.
Yeah.
Just don't. Just step 1, subscribe, turn on notifications, and you will be pleased.
We need to have you have more than 235 subscribers. Yes.
Should I kick? I can
need-
kick some out and make some room.
Put a couple more zeros behind this. So
pretty
come on, people,
exclusive.
come on through. His content is hilarious. He's got some cool race videos go on there. The ones that you do with your buddies, where you guys get together, like the old bone broth and a few of those things are just comedy. They're fun to watch. So,
Good trainer material.
Is it your friend? Is it Brandon? That's the musician.
Oh yeah, Brendan DeCoster.
Do you
Yeah.
are you guys still friends?
He's
or
dead to me.
Dead to you?
He's been out of the thing is he's so good at music
Yeah.
that if I ask him to contribute to a soundtrack or do a thing, then I can't get involved. Because I'm
he's-
getting in the way. He's
Yeah.
so good. And so I'm like, I don't even call him for this. Like I want to be able to do this.
The one that I'm not saying that you should have done the Trophy Cup thing different. I think you nailed that. But just have him come on because it's funny. His songs, his little jingles, they're hilarious.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, go check out his YouTube page. It's fantastic. So cool. Anything else you guys want to talk about with respect to that? No?
I loved it.
All right.
Thank you for letting me be a part of it, Dylan.
Thanks for saying yes.
It was fun.
And thank you to everyone involved with the project because everyone I approached about it said, "Oh yeah, how can I help? Yeah." They're like,
just immediately. Yes, I'm in.
I mean, with Stephen Plomer, like, okay, you're gonna speak German,
And you're gonna kind of be the bad guy. So you got to be the antagonist. In this
I am
thing.
down to clown.
Now, did you go and actually translate what he said? Did he say what you told him to say, or did he say something else? Like, are the Germans like looking at us saying, "What a bunch of dumbass Americans"?
You can open up Google Translate and hold your phone to the speakers and find out what he's actually saying.
Really?
And I'm not going to say any more about it.
Oh, here we go.
So it's not the same.
I was wondering if there was maybe something in there, but there's your little Easter egg. Yeah. So cool.
I'm proud of you. You know that. I hope you do.
Proud of you, my man. Right on. Let's jump into our topic today, and that is what is that? What'd you name your segment over there, Mr.
The dome seat. I mean, the hotter seat.
The hotter seat.
Hotter seat.
The more hotter seat.
The lukewarm seat.
This is called Pop Quiz with Dylan.
All right.
Pop quiz with Dylan.
This is kind of related to. Oh, do you have a soundbite for it?
No,
we'll
but
leave room for it.
We can.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Post baby, right?
I'll fix it. This is kind of related to a discussion you guys had a few weeks ago about road rage. Everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah.
So, and I'll start my question with a story about, every time I bike on public streets, I'm kind of just braced for who's going to irritate me. What car am I going to see parked in a bike lane? Or, what dumb stuff am I going to, like, who's going to try and right hook me? How do you, first of all, when you're considering your reaction to that, because we'd all want to, knock on a door or yell something, do you consider what team kit you're wearing or how you're representing anyone before you do this? And then the second part is, how do you let it not ruin your day?
It's a pretty hot question. Dude.
Hot seat. I don't think too much about Jersey stuff, but I the one thing I try to do is be like, okay, this big pickup truck is gonna, whatever I say, they're gonna pass another cyclist in about 30 minutes, right? And what are they gonna do to that cyclist? So, Jake does this too. I've never seen either of these guys that are sitting at this table like cause a problem or cause a scene. I've seen other people do that, and that's funny and fun to watch from a distance because it can end up in a fight. But like, I always feel like the best thing to do is like kind of kill them with kindness and hope that they don't kill the next cyclist that they see. It's hard.
It is really hard because a lot of times all you're going to do is piss somebody off and it's just going to propagate it further down the road. But I am going to, full transparency, I have approached a few people. Just recently, I can think of somebody. We were doing our Friday fog hat ride. It was a very chill ride. We had a bunch of juniors with us. We had a big group. It was probably 25 or 30 people. And we were riding down a neighborhood road. It was not even like a major thoroughfare or anything like that. It was like we're in a neighborhood. And everybody was pretty far to the right, being respectful. And some guy comes flying through in his BMW and almost clipped one of our kids. And then like just was being a complete egregious a-hole. And then hangs a left. And I jumped on the pedals and I chased him down and I made him stop. It was funny because one of our teammates is
was it like a high schooler kind of like younger?
No, he was probably mid-30s or something like that. Anyway, he was just being a complete asshole. And he was going up to his house and I rode up there and I kind of got in his face a little bit. And our teammate, Dustin, who's a police officer, he came up just to make sure nothing was going to be a problem. That's just how Dustin is. He's a good dude. But, I'm like, dude, what is your problem? He's like, you guys should not be riding on the road. I'm like, that those are a bunch of kids. Those are like 13 and 14-year-old kids. And you almost hit one of them. And he's like, just belly aching at me. I'm like, dude, you need to check yourself. Nobody's out here to cause you harm, and we didn't put you out at all. You don't need to drive like that. And basically, I didn't want to like take it any further than that. He wasn't going to be receptive to that. So I said my piece, and I said, I have a good rest of your day. Just please be careful in the future, and rode away. But it very well could have been one of those things. Like if it was somebody else that was a little bit more excitable, that could have been a situation where the bike just laid down on the ground and people are like, fisticuffs and like little, knockdown, drag out fight. I mean,
Do you rip the sleeves off your jersey before you do that? So you can flex.
Yeah, can.
Hell yeah.
Wrestle them in a singlet. So, but anyway, I mean, there's been a few things like that, but more times than not, it's cooler heads need to prevail. And if you get an opportunity to say, "Hey, can you tell me what happened back there? Did I do something wrong or whatever?" And try and open up the dialogue just to see what they have to say, and just educate them. Like, hey, just that didn't need to happen. We'll try and do better, but you can do better too. And just don't be an asshole. And you're gonna hurt somebody. I mean, all these people, they're somebody's brother, sister, mother, father, son, daughter, whatever. We're humans, we're people. We're not just some inanimate object riding on a bike that's getting in your way. And it's not like we're truly inconveniencing you. You've got this massive vehicle with a thing called an accelerator that you can get back up to speed in no time at all. If I inconvenienced you for 2, 3, 5 seconds, whatever, so what? Deal with it. So, but anyway, carry on. Sorry.
No,
Lance?
I appreciate your answer.
Here's Lance's answer. I try to go past the problem as fast as possible so that the people behind me have to deal with the problem.
I've been able to sit here and think about this for a minute and truly think about what I actually do. And I'm better in a group than when I'm alone. When I'm with a group, I tend to be the cooler head. Like, just let it ride. It's not worth the fight, whatnot. But I realize when I'm riding alone, and I'm always in a dialed jersey, I'm always in a bright orange jersey, it's probably not a good look that I'm always in the jersey, but I'm also trying to promote the team, and I also tear down the team at the same time.
Double whammy.
But when I'm alone, if somebody buzzes me or right hooks me, I immediately mother effer.
Yeah.
Want to kill them.
I want to kill them. And I will approach them if there's a chance to approach them, or I'll yell something through the door. But I'm also very non-confrontational, so I'll yell something, and if they roll down the window, I'm like, I just need to ride away before something happens, or I get murdered by this idiot. So,
you ever use your water bottle?
I have never done that. I've done that with dogs. Yeah,
So good for dogs.
I did it with dogs, but I haven't done that to a person because I imagine if I do that, then they're just gonna mow me down in their Ford F-150.
Well, that's too bad. You guys were close, but you all got it wrong. Sorry. The correct answer was always escalate.
Always escalate.
You got to rip the glass out of the passenger mirror and throw it down and say, "Don't need this, do you?"
I think Evan Price has done that before. Like, he was riding along, and there was a car, and he ripped off the mirror, the whole side mirror.
Wow.
You have to ask Evan Price about that story.
Holy moly.
Wow. All right, what's next?
Okay. What advice would you give to a cyclist that wants to get stronger and is on the trainer and planning to be on the trainer, maybe just bought a new trainer for the winter and has done a couple Zwift workouts, maybe done trainer road, and has realized this sucks. Riding for an hour on the trainer is hard, and when you get on with trainer road, every workout's hard. Why would I want to do this all winter? What would you say to when in the spring they're going to want to be able to hang with all their friends that are riding year round?
Do it with others. You have to do it with other people.
It's way more motivating if you do it in a group or with others.
We'll
Much
do
more
our
motivating.
We do our Tuesday night rides. And
Oh, yeah, that's true. That does help.
And we're usually on there. We're like 15, 17 people or something like that right now. And no joke, if you go do that same ride by yourself, it feels like it's an hour and a half, but it feels like it's 3 hours. But if you do it with a group and we're talking to each other on Discord, you can see what's going on. We know that there's a hot section coming up. There's a protocol for the whole thing. It feels like you're on there for 30 minutes. It really does eat up the time. So there's that. Then the other thing is try a race or two or go ride with other people. And those pacer bots are kind of a cool thing too. If you're looking to do zone 2 stuff and you don't have other people to ride with, you can kind of cruise along at a pretty high speed. And there's something about that, I want to stay with the group. So that does kind of change that dynamic just a little bit, and it keeps you there with them. So you're a little bit more engaged. It goes by a little bit faster. So you're kind of paying attention to it that way. You're watching the group, and that's kind of your pace. And then you can watch some YouTube videos or something like that. And it kind of helps you get through the time. So the University of YouTube has been good to me on the trainer over the years, and that's been a great way for me to pass the time, and I love that. And those other things that I just mentioned are the other ways that I try and do that. And yeah, that's how it works for me. But
Probably once a week, if I'm doing a Zone 2 ride, I will just do it with the PacerBot group on Zwift.
Yeah.
And then I have to pay a little bit of attention just to stay with the group.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And you have to pick a level that is
stable,
that is sustainable. The good thing now with Zwift is you can teleport to whatever pace group you want.
Oh,
Yes.
fixed it.
Yes. So you could start with like the 2.6 kilowatt, per gram group.
gram. I
Or
think
watt.
it is gram.
Did I get it right? My
Per
watts
ounce,
per
per ounce.
kilogram.
Yeah.
You can start with the 2.6 watts per
No,
kilogram
it's, I
group.
think gram.
2.6.
Microgram. Like a tiny.
Boy, shut up. So,
Shut up.
but you can use the teleport feature, and it's on the Zwift companion app, or it's on your screen if you bring up the menu, or not the menu, but whatever.
If you're using like a tablet or
If
something.
you're using a tablet, you can pull it up, and if you click on the teleport button, it will give you all the options. I want to teleport to the 3.2 or back to the 1.8. Wait, I've been going for 20 minutes. I need a break for a second. I'm going to teleport back to the 1.8 group. I'll stay with that group for 5 minutes and then teleport back into the 2.6
or you can do a
2.9.
coffee break, and it'll just you go get a coffee or bathroom break.
You get
and
a 3-minute break.
That is my
that's-
most
Did you already say
favorite
that?
thing coming back from being an RGT for a year. That coffee break is fantastic. I love that thing. You get a 3-minute break. Have you?
I have not seen.
Play-
I haven't
play
been on
with it.
Zwift in a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
They changed a couple things, and those
Yeah.
two things are really good. The teleporting and the coffee break are like primo.
The coffee break, you just hit the button. You get like a coffee break in the first, I think it's like 3 minutes or something like that. You get a 30-second coffee break. So let's say you need to like tighten up your shoe or you need to make a quick adjustment. It will basically, you push the coffee break and it keeps your guy riding with the group so that you don't jump off for 30 seconds and then they ride away from you and you got to sprint to get back on. It's not like that. So you make that adjustment. And then every 30 minutes after that, you get a 3-minute coffee break, meaning you can jump off the treadmill, go use the bathroom, go get a cup of coffee. I like this past Tuesday, we were doing our team ride, and like you could see that I was taking a coffee break during the thing. And Lance is like, "Oh, you gonna go take a leak, Jake?" I'm like, "No, I'm actually on the foam roll. I was on the foam roll for 30 minutes because my hip was bugging me. I foam rolled it out. I got back on, and I was able to finish the ride with the group." So
Your avatar has a little coffee cup above his head
Yeah.
while you're taking coffee.
I
breaks, so you
still
can
think
see
that
who-
they have a missed opportunity there. You should have the ability to pick your icon,
change your
and
icon.
you got a guy peeing in the bush, you got a guy stretching, you got a
or
guy
the
like
poop emoji. You got a poop emoji above
that
your
Tom
head.
would be
Tom.
yeah, Tom. We were talking about that too, but yeah, that would be fantastic. So, but yeah, that's a pretty cool
I
thing.
feel like there's a lot of new stuff going on with Swift. I think they just upped the rankings to all the way up to 100 now. So
Yeah.
there's like been I think that was announced maybe
Yep.
last week while I was missing in action.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Levels to 100.
Levels up to 100, your own, I don't know. It's not really levels, rank.
no.
But yeah, it's kind of like your ranking, or I guess they wouldn't call it ranking.
How many
Call
drips
it
do you got?
levels. What? I have like 13 million. or
13 million. How many are you up to?
I don't know.
I think I'm about ready to turn over $20 million drips.
Drops.
But I haven't. That was after missing a full year too.
Yeah.
and I missed a bunch of level ups. But anyway, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. Doing
Can
it
you
with other
teleport
people.
to the front of the race and take a
Sure.
coffee?
Sure.
I don't think the teleport function works in a race. It also doesn't work if you're on a group ride.
or the coffee break doesn't work in a race either.
I
Coffee
should
break
just make that
doesn't work
pay
in
to
a race.
win.
Yeah.
Pay to win.
Right.
They can make some money. Come on.
Right on.
Well, that was close. Again, you guys were very close, but wrong across the board. Sorry.
Damn it.
Sorry to break this to you.
Okay, we'll get one. We'll get
The
one
right
right at
answer
some
was
point.
trainer rides are going to suck. Sorry.
Period.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
They blow.
Okay, here's the last question. We could go long form on this one.
Okay.
What's the best color to paint a bike? Asking for a friend.
Shiny black.
Orange.
No, there's only one wrong answer.
That's it. Shiny black.
Dialed orange. Dialed orange.
Just solid orange, or you could put a fade in there.
sparkly.
We
No,
can
you need some
sparkle.
I think
Sparkle.
you got to
Need
do
some
like
glitter
the, you got
in
it
there?
glitter. Always glitter. The answer is always glitter.
From Candy the stripper.
Candy supplies all
Candy
of my
supplies
glitter.
all my glitter. Where do you get your glitter from?
There's only one spot.
There's only one spot. It's
Candy's
from
the
Candy.
only
You
option.
are an aficionado. You love painting bikes. You're an artist. All that other fun stuff. What's the most beautiful bike you've ever seen in your life, and what was it? What color was it?
Oh, gee.
Most beautiful.
I mean, you
bike.
were at that. What was the show you were at?
Oh, the Made Bike Show.
Made Bike
I
Show.
mean,
You probably saw
anything
some, like,
Black
incredible
Magic
stuff.
Paint does is incredible, right?
Yeah.
And the closer you get to it, the more you can see the detail and the attention
Sure.
where the hours were. But I guess for me right now, it's Mosaic. They have, a white pearl bike with their logo and other like inside of the fork with like a rainbow splash motif. And if you can find the pictures of it, it's incredible. But I talked to the guy about that, and he said that was like a 90-hour paint job.
Wow.
and I just couldn't. That would have taken me too. Where'd all the time go? But no, yeah, I guess, every time I see a white with rainbow bike, I have to stop and be like, ooh, what's this? But that's every color. That's me copping out and not committing to one thing. What's the best color?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
There can be only one.
I mean,
it's not black.
Orange and black.
Orange and black.
Orange
with a little camo.
Orange,
with a little bit of camo.
Orange fade to
digital
black with some glitter.
God, I don't know.
I haven't seen any of Specialized current stuff with the All A Sprint because they always do a special edition of that, which is insane. Like, pink sparkle with leopard print fork, or trout or salmon.
What's going on with the bike painting company? Are you busy right now?
I'm extremely busy treading water.
Really?
Yeah, I have a never-ending paint job in the garage. I'm gonna get through at some point, but it's just finding time for it is so hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Up your prices until your demand goes down. Oof. Just keep raising prices.
Hey, Lance, can you find real quick the pictures that Mike Hansen posted for the BMC Oars that he painted? He did a pretty incredible paint job on this particular bike. It's
what did he post it on?
It was probably Instagram, but maybe on Strava. I'm not 100% sure. I need to get you together with Mike. He's super cool. He's a really cool guy, and he's got he's another one of those jackholes that's got way too many talents like you.
Just good at everything. People make
no
sick.
joke. I mean, he's a guy that just says, I'm going to build a Sprinter. And then he built a Sprinter and it took him about a year to get it all done. But you go and look at it and it looks like one of the ones that you would get for about $300,000. And he did everything by himself, everything. He built all of his own cabinets. He did all of his own electrical work. He planned it all out. He did everything. And it's like, how are you this talented? And then he's also the guy that paints old cars, classic cars. And so you can kind of,
is that orange?
Well, that's
or
not,
or is that red?
That's one of the early,
good lighting.
Yeah, sorry, this is real exhilarating. People can see exactly what we're talking about here. Yeah. But that's not the finished product. You have to see it in the sun. It's got all kinds of fades. It's got he used this crackle paint thing that was on there. I mean, there's all kinds of craziness that he put into this bike. And it's just because he felt like doing it because he can. But again, he's painted cars that it's a classic car, and it's the one that you look at and that person probably spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on the paint job. He's like, oh yeah, I did that. I'm like, come on. Woof. And I don't know if you saw at the lab, there's the Dial podcast. It's a metal sign and it's got all of our names on there. I don't know if you've seen that before, but he painted that for us, and he just did it in an afternoon because he was probably bored and was like, I'm going to make this for the guys. And
is that the one with pinstriping on it?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's just one of those guys, but about as nice of a guy as you're going to ever meet. But you guys would have fun painting bikes, playing bikes together. But something like that is kind of interesting. I kind of tend to gravitate towards the cooler colors as opposed to that particular color, but I have a full-on appreciation for that. He also painted this road bike here too. That's his BMC Time Machine Road. Yeah, dirty. It's pretty nuts. So he's super talented, but God, I don't know. To answer
thanks, Lance. Now I'm jealous.
Sorry, I wasn't real good.
To answer your question, I don't know. I would have to have something that was
I guess my problem lately is that when I think about what to paint a bike, I always go maybe 3 levels too far. Mm-hmm. And so, you start with a color and add a fade or a pattern or something. And then, put this on top of it. And it's a hat on a hat. And then when it's all done, you're like, cool. That would look great if it was just the one color with the text.
I don't know. I still like your polka dot bike. I think that's pretty solid.
Thank you. That's my favorite bike too.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I don't know. What's your next project? What do you got up over your sleeve? Do you got something that's in the works for you?
I want to build a lightweight full suspension mountain bike.
Okay.
So I can have a decent gravel ride / mountain bike, because my current mountain bike is the full slack enduro, which climbing.
That's fantastic for gravel riding and climbing.
It's
XC racing.
This is a 30-pound bike.
36 pounds of carbon, just solid carbon tubes. But I talked to Josh at Hi-Fi about doing a lightweight wheel set, which he has all lined up. Cool. There's Chinese frames you can get that don't look too sketchy, and then for a while, components were reasonably priced for a nice fork and shock combo. So I was like, ooh, is this going to be a doable thing? But then what do you paint it? I don't know. That's where I'm drawing a blank. So,
Would you tie it into your kit?
no.
No.
It's,
Do you want
it
to
changes every year. I don't want it to go out of style.
I don't know. I don't know, like pinks and purples and blues. I think those are always fun to play with because it's just not something you see all the time. I've been riding on a black bike for a while. And
Shiny black.
I had shiny black and matte black, and it was just, that was what I could get, and that was what I was able to get a good deal on. And I just, it's just a bike, but I'm kind of tired of riding on black right now.
Do you guys like those, like the chrome foil colors that Trek is doing?
Sometimes.
It looks like a colored mirror.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or the ones that change. Specialized has some bikes where the color changes depending on what angle you're looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know about those because it's like, there's 8 or 9 of them. And so everyone kind of buys the same stuff.
Yeah.
And it all like
That's kind of like late 2000. It goes to like 2010, like that came out like to 2015, and like it kind of like ran its course. I think it's time for something new. So
now there are like, the hypercolor temperature sensitive pigments. You can get those.
those are cool.
That's
It's like when you pick up your bike, you can have a handprint on it.
Yeah.
That's cool, right?
Every time I sweat on it, I would have
Yep, a
I'd
little
have
drop.
polka dots on my frame.
And then I talked to a guy about doing one with Lumalore, I think it's called. But it's like you paint on a ground layer, you paint on a luminescent layer, and then paint on the positive layer. And so you have to paint all these wire traces into it and then somehow hook up a battery, and then you flick it on and you get that blue glow or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's like one demo on YouTube of it. It's super expensive. But then on top of the luminant layer, you can do like transparent things and like, have a light up dragon on your thing. What? So maybe that's happening. I don't know. Yeah.
It's happening.
That's what I'm talking about. Gotta go
Just need
vintage.
one very wealthy, very stupid patron to come.
That would be cool. Yeah, I don't know, something like from like the 70s, like those I don't know, the sparkly, glittery kind of thing, something like that'd be kind of fun.
The bass boat.
There you go. Yeah, something like that might be fun, but like have it be a little bit of a fade where it's like maybe starts that way, like I don't know, party up front, business in the rear kind of thing. I don't know.
Love it.
Have fun with it. Cool. Anything else?
No, sorry. You guys were, again, so close on that one. The correct answer, yellow.
Yellow
Just
it
yellow.
is.
That's
Just
it.
yellow.
Yeah. We'll get it next time, guys.
Flat yellow.
Next time we'll do better. Hopefully you're coming back on the podcast. Not with these failures, but maybe a
could do like
podcast that,
Banana with some brown spots on it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Shiny black.
Shiny black.
It's not happening, Lance. Quit trying to make shiny black a thing.
All right. Let's do the one last thing. One last thing, Matt LeGrand, you always go
I go first because I just like to steal the show. I am posting a video. I think it's just going to go live Sunday morning because that'll be a fun time to do it. It will be like the DC Rainmaker interview thing. Check it out. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be good.
I'm very interested to see what his
studio looks like. Yeah. So it's a studio tour, and
is it big? I mean, is it pretty sizable?
It's 2 stories.
It's not massive. It's basically like it's underneath a fancy building, basically. Okay. Maybe similar size to your store.
Okay.
Something like that is what I would say. But it's just like it's taller, so that he has kind of like made it into 2 levels.
Sure.
And then
I was always kind of curious. Is he doing that from his house? Does he have a studio? What's the deal there? And because like his shop. His main shot that he uses, his talking head, it looks like it's just like a little workbench area, like in the corner of a room somewhere. And then you can see another area where he has maybe like a trainer set up, but then he's always outside doing his stuff. So it's like, all right, well, is he just doing this from home? Because he doesn't look like he's using a ton of space.
No, he has that like, so he has like the kind of talking head section, which is like a really small corner area. And then to the left of that is like a bike trainer section. Yeah. And it's basically, imagine like this wall next to us. Our listeners are going to love this. But at the time he had 4 trainers set up with 4 bikes. Uh-huh. And then you go down this hallway that's just lined with bikes. There's probably like another 10 bikes that are just like, connected into the wall via the, kind of like the stuff that we've done before with like the wheel, it's just tucked in. And so they're kind of tilted at an angle so you can walk through this. And then there's like a gear closet along this hallway, and it's just like, it's just buckets or little clear containers of hundreds of watches and
bike computers
chargers and
electronics,
camera stuff and stuff like that too that he needs. But he also reviews drones. He reviews all these things. So he action cameras, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're all in there. And then, bathroom and then little kitchen.
Yeah.
And then in the back, it's like this almost like living room area thing. And so there's a couch, there's a Peloton back there, TV, and then there's like 2 desks for him and his wife, like kind of one in front of the other. And iMac on there and stuff like that. So
he's probably doing pretty well with this whole DC Rainmaker thing.
Yeah,
is his wife working with him 100%, or does she?
Yeah, I mean,
She does the newsletter.
Yeah.
she does. Yeah, she does a lot. She'll do some editing. She'll do some light editing, but he does the rest of the editing for the most part. And then she does a lot of like she writes her own stuff. She does a newsletter. She does a whole bunch of stuff. She does all like because at that level, at that size, there's billing, there's lots of stuff, and so she does all the paperwork.
Does he have staff?
Manage the business? No, I don't think so. I think it's just the 2 of them, and then I think maybe at some point he may try to, bring in some help or whatever.
Yeah.
But and I mean by that, like we all have like accountants and things like that, right? So there's that part of it too. But I think that she does a lot of the books and stuff too.
Gotcha.
So,
So when are you moving over there to team up with him?
next week.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, we'll team up. Yep.
Little bromance going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun. We had a good time.
Right on.
But yeah, I think I'll stay in the States, do my own thing. We'll see.
Would you say that he's just as popular over there as he is here in the States?
I think that anyone that is looking to learn about sports tech stuff
knows who he is.
And goes to his website or channel or whatever to figure it out. So I don't think that that's specific to a country, although, I guess people that are English speaking are probably more leaning towards him. So that would be, UK and the United States and, different places like that. But like, it seems like he had a decent amount of fans just in Amsterdam where we were and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
he's been around for a while. I can
He's been
remember
around a long time.
kind of 15, 20 years ago. I can remember looking at computers, and I was talking to somebody at an REI once, and they're like, "Oh, did you read the review on this on DC Rainmaker's website?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did check that out." And like, that guy's great. And like, "Oh yeah, well," and like, this is when I lived in Southern California, and I was actually up at REI in Seattle, and he was telling me about it. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess everybody knows about this guy." And
yeah, I think he started up the blog, and then it was just like it became like the thing, and he's very detailed, detail oriented, which I think people really like.
Yep.
And then it grew so much, mostly like the website grew so much that it grew him out of his job. So. And I think he was really he worked for Microsoft, and I think he had a really good job at Microsoft that he had to leave. So
cool.
How mad am I going to be when I see this video? Pretty mad? Envious or jealous?
Mad about, I think on a level of 1 to a million, it's going to be low. I think you're going to be like in the 20s maybe.
I'll find a way.
You can get angry. Comment. Angry comments are welcome on my channel.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, no, because it's more like, you get a product, blah, blah, blah. It comes in, you do this, and like, you have a little B-roll area. You have like, here's your studio thing or whatever. And it's a big studio. He had the like open house party there, and there was probably 50 people there, and there was enough room for everyone. So,
wow.
It's, yeah, I mean, I have basically I have a closet for my YouTube studio, but I didn't feel like I was jealous. It was more just like, okay, this works for him. My closet works for me. Maybe someday I'll have a space, but yeah.
I'm sure it's going to happen. Cool beans. Hey, Dylan, one last thing.
One last thing is the East Portland Youth Cycling, the juniors team that is targeting track nationals for next year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so, that's why I wanted to plug is that they are going hard. I have seen their training rides. I'm not allowed to go on them anymore because I can't keep up.
Wow.
Those kids are freaking fast.
Yeah.
It's going to be super fun to watch.
Wow.
Their race calendar next year is all over the western half of the U.S. They're targeting Phoenix. They're targeting up in B.C. It's going to be nuts. So watch for that.
I don't understand how James has the time to do all that stuff. I mean, he is a hero. He is a champion. He is just a great guy to boot. But my God, that's a big sacrifice. Like, he's given like a lot of time to this, but like when they go up to do the velodrome in Seattle, I mean, that's like a full-on weekend thing where they're leaving
every
like
weekend.
Every weekend, it's 3 hours, 4 hours up there. You're there all weekend, and shacking up probably in some hotel somewhere, and then it's another 3-4 hour drive back, barring no traffic. And he does that over and over again. And then they're at all the other races, and now they're going to be traveling even more. You're saying?
Yeah,
Oh my,
it's
Lord.
wild. And I mean, plus, could you imagine doing that as a parent if the kids weren't into it?
Oh, yeah.
But these kids are eating it up.
Yeah.
They're doing, I mean, they were posting pictures of rainy and cold, 3-hour training rides.
Yeah.
And they're just loving it. They're,
Yeah.
they're so fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun year next year.
Good on them. Wish them luck.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Hep.
Yeah.
F you.
One last thing.
Oh, is that what I'm supposed to say? One last thing.
I really don't have much to add. I don't have anything to plug. So
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is. Plain and
Wake
simple.
up and
I
I
wake
piss
up in the morning, I
excellent.
piss excellent.
I love that
And nobody
stuff.
can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. You ain't first, you're last.
That's Lance
that.
Epler
yeah,
right
suck
there.
it.
My one last thing is we are now in the throes of fundraising for Bikes for Kids. And
Yes.
we are going to try and raise as much money as humanly possible to do bike delivery to a bunch of kids here in the next few months. And until then, we're going to try and raise as much as we can. So you can... Gosh, we'll have to post it back up again, but I do believe it's on our Facebook, social medias, and all that other stuff. You can click on a link to go into the Bikes for Kids GoFundMe if you want to make a little contribution there. Even if it's just a couple bucks, $2, $3, $4, $5, it all adds up. And if you get enough people, it is pretty sizable. So we will buy a bunch of brand new bikes for kids and helmets and bike locks, and we'll go out and do a workshop for them to teach them how to use all that stuff. And then they're going to think they're doing this fun little clinic. And then all of a sudden, hey, you get a brand new bike. You get a brand new bike. Everybody gets a brand new bike. And it's a fantastic, glorious day.
Oprah moment.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in helping out, though, that would be glorious. You can also, I guess, just go to GoFundMe and search Bike for Kids. It's under the Dialed Cycling Team. Oh, it's also attached to our 501c3 nonprofit, so it is a tax write-off. So if you want to help out some kids, get yourself a little tax write-off. Yep. Snappity snap. All good. All right, boys. It was fun. Dylan, thank you for coming in.
Always
for having me.
Always
Yeah.
a pleasure.
You want us to keep that seat warm for you?
Let's go. I'm not leaving. You can't kick me out.
Right on. All right, we will be back next week with another one of these. And until then, bye for now.
Face 2. I can graphic bike race videos for you. It's cwapface2. See cwapface2. Something you can watch while taking a poo. Message skateboard and a rise above the station. And on the way we'll have to cover all appropriation. Hello.
Hey, bro. Heard you chased your own teammate down.
Team Dialed can bring me to victory, right?